Well, good morning guys, welcome back to another video. As you can see today, I'm in a totally different location. I'm down on the coast here at North Vancouver. What an amazing morning. Now there was a forecast of snow and I had two choices. Either head out towards Pit Meadows where I got the hoarfrost in the last video. That was excellent, really enjoyed that time out that day. I'll come over towards the coast where we've got the coastline, got this glorious snow, so we've got loads of contrast with the trees and the white of the snow, and plus we've got the forest behind us. So this is where I've decided to come today. I did come out last week, tried to put a video together, but I didn't get the conditions, and the location that I picked I wasn't that keen on. There was a lot of fallen trees and the trails weren't that interesting. And to make matters worse, it started to rain and it looked a bit gloomy, so I didn't really come across anything. But it is important to try new locations in case there is images to be had. I did go up to Cleveland Dam. Now it was beautiful in the morning, but as the day went on, I went down to the dam hoping to get some images of the dam there. And I couldn't really come across anything. Walked around some of the trails, there was fallen trees everywhere, so it was quite sketchy. So I came away. I did venture up Cypress Mountain hoping for a nice sunrise. Now on the Saturday I got this low cloud over the city. It was amazing because the city was still in darkness and the sunrise was just starting to catch the sky above. It created these layers and it made for a nice image. Now the only thing was I got one shot and one shot only, because this cloud and fog came in from the sea and just snuffed the city out and it was no longer to be seen. So I went up again the next day hoping for the sunrise again. You just got to keep going back and hoping for that day when you do get a nice sunrise up there, because it makes for an amazing view, especially if you get a cloud inversion. Now the next day I did get a bit of fog in the city, a bit of low cloud, and I got some of the skyscrapers poking the way out the top of the clouds and the fog in the city there, and it made for a really nice image. Just waited for the sunlight to come up above the clouds because there was a bit of cloud on the horizon. You can't see the city today because there's a lot of low cloud and fog over the sea, and you can see the bit of not too much of a wind, it's just the sea breeze coming in at us, which is going to make for some tricky shots in this area. But when we make our way into the forest, that should all be resolved. It should be quite calm and it shouldn't be too bad. But just wonderful to be back. So today I'm going to venture around Lighthouse Park, see what I can come across. I've came across a couple of compositions that I like on the coastline here. I'll see how they work out, and then we'll venture up this coast in and out the forest today. Came across this lovely tree. Now it's really nice, it's beautiful. We've got the lovely texture of the snow, got the tree standing by itself. Now we've got quite a lot of direction with the snow and the fact that the rock's shone through the snow, so it's adding a lot of contrast and a bit of interest to the foreground. So when I get low down with the camera, it creates all these shapes in the snow. You can see more of those shapes rather than the camera being up high. If the camera's up high, it kind of flattens out the scene, so it's good to get the camera low down try different compositions, look at it from all different angles. I want to utilise this blank sky. It looks really nice against this tree because there's nothing behind, so you're just going to have a lovely wintry scene with some of these rocks and the shapes and formations of the snow. Now there's the sea behind. Now I don't want to include the sea. The more simple your shot is, the easier it is to look at, and I think it's a lot more pleasing to the eye. I'm going to shoot it at f/16. I am quite close to this foreground. You'll probably notice that I've stopped dead in my tracks. I don't want to enter this part of the scene because that's what I'm going to be photographing, because once you've walked in it, that you've spoiled the shot. So I'm going to grab this image. Now I'm getting a shutter speed of about a fifth of a second at the moment, ISO 100. I am exposing one stop over because we're dealing with white snow, and I want the snow to be white. I don't want it to be grey. So that's why your colour balance is really important. Get it right in camera, get it right on the day. You don't have to faff about when you go back to post editing the image. So let's crack on, see how this day pans out. But what a beautiful location it really is. I'm so pleased that I came to this area. I've got the place to myself. Plenty of exploring to be done today. So get this image, put it on the screen above for you, and carry on further up this coast. Well, it's still snowing, it's quite heavy. We got that image before, hopefully it worked out. It's just to show you how you can discard things by getting the camera low down. I didn't want to include the sea, I just wanted the snow with that tree, and hopefully that image has worked out. So I've made my way a bit further up the coast, and I've doubled back on myself because there was actually a tree that I liked this morning. The image didn't work close up, I found. So I thought if I can include it as a wintry scene with using this coastline, I thought it might work. So I've came round, I'm down onto the shore here, next to the ocean. It's a beautiful morning, the snow's fallen, it's lovely and quiet. So I'm going to go for this image here. Now I've swapped out my 24mm, put the 100 to 400 G master on. So the image I'm going for here is a simple image. I just want a picture of the coastline with all the lovely trees, with all this snow on it. You've got the rocks with the snow on the top, some nice contrast there. And then it just disappears into the sea, it just goes off into the sea direction. And because we've got that low cloud, fog and mist over the sea, you can't see Vancouver in the background, so it's really nice. It's making a really nice blank canvas. See how things work out. Be nice if there was a bit less snow, because you are going to get snow in the images, and sometimes it's going to be like streaks on the image. But I'll just keep taking shots, and then I'll be able to choose which shot I like. Well, I've made my way up from the shoreline there. We tried some images down there. Beautiful morning, really enjoying these conditions. The snow gets heavy from time to time, so it makes it quite tricky for shots. But if you just wait for a while, it tends to ease and then you can grab your images. It's because the snow does make it harder. We haven't had a big thick coating, so it's revealing a lot of the plant and the foliage behind. So it is quite hard to come across images, but nice to be able to go to the shoreline, and that was the whole point about coming today. I can try the shoreline for images, come into the forest, see if I can come across images. So there's a large variety of images that you can capture in this area. Now I've decided to head to a place called Juniper Point. It's a beautiful location. You're high up above the forest and above the coastline there, and if you look up to the side you can actually get a wonderful view of the coast. Now I can imagine today, because of all this snow, that it looks amazing. Now it would be nice to get some light coming in. You know, light always helps your images, gives them a bit of depth, gives them a bit of direction. You know, it looks like it might try and come out, but it is quite thick today, as you'll have seen before. So we'll just have to see how the rest of the day pans out. But I'm going to head on these trails, enjoy the lovely walk, enjoy these conditions, and make our way up to Juniper Point. So I've just made my way through the forest there. Beautiful, what can I say, absolutely amazing, absolute thrill to bits to be out today. Now I've came out onto the shoreline again, out of that forest, and I've came across this rocky outcrop here, and it looks beautiful. You've got the colours, nice browns and textures of the rocks and the greys amongst all this snow, and it makes for a nice winterly scene. So the composition that I'm going for here, I can't show you the back of the camera at the minute because it's full of snow, but I'll do some video so I can explain my composition. Now I want this rock formation leading out right through the image. So I've got formation here at the bottom left of the frame with a lovely tree with lots of snow on it, and it looks really nice. We haven't got a lot of wind, so there's nothing moving. A lot of the trees will be frozen, so they'll be quite still anyway. Then I'm going to have another layer of this rock formation leading out. It's lovely and snow-capped. Got beautiful trees above. Nice separation in between the trees, so you can see some of the rock formations amongst the trees. And then you're going to have the larger formation with some ferns on the top in the far distance. Now, most of the frame's going to be full of this rock formation because there isn't much interest in the sea, and as you can see behind, there's a lot of fog over the sea, so that's great because it hides the city. On a normal day, on a clear day, you'd be able to see the city. What an absolute brilliant morning. Glorious, absolutely glorious. And we'll make our way further into the forest. I'm going to try a couple of variations while I'm here. It's quite difficult because we've got this snow, but because the snow's coming from behind us for this shot, I'm managing to capture it. We are going to have snow in the shot. You know, you're going to be able to see that snow, but it's going to give a nice wintry scene. So I've came across this location a couple of times in the past. I used to come here for sunset. It makes a great location for sunset because I get the sun setting directly in front of us. Now I'm actually up at a place called Juniper Point now. There's a large tree here, looks a bit like a large bonsai tree, grows out the side of the rock. And if you come at the right time of the year for sunset, you can get the tree with the sunset behind it. Makes for a really nice image. Now I've never been to this location when we've had snow, so this is absolutely brilliant today. I've always wanted to photograph up at Juniper Point, but the problem that I've had in the past, you always get the city skyline leading off the edge of the rocks in the distance there. So now, because we've got this low cloud and a bit of fog over the sea there, it's really given us a blank canvas. It's really contrasty because of the trees and the barks and the snow. It really is nice. Now the good thing about today is it's really quiet, which I'm surprised. I thought it'd be busier than it is, but it's still quite quiet. It's close to midday now. There is a few tracks here, but the composition that I've picked, I've managed to keep people's footsteps out the shot. Now the composition I'm going for here, I love these arbutus trees. I think that's what they're called, and they're lovely shapes and patterns, and they've got the snow laying on the bark there, really contrasty against the whites and the darks. But if you notice at the bottom left side of the frame, I've got these trees and they lean over to the right, and then you've got a bit of separation, and then these three here lead over to the right, making sure they don't encroach on the end of the shoreline that you can see. And then you just nice leading line up the coast, and because we've got this lovely light, it's casting some nice warm light on the ocean there. I've tried to keep as much of the sky out the shot as I can. It's not too harsh, and we have got some detail in the sky because of that cloud. But what a beautiful day it really is. I'm tickled pink. I am going to swap out the lenses soon. I'm going to shoot this with the 24mm, focusing directly on this tree. I'm putting the polarizer on. We have got a bit more glare on the ocean now, so I'm putting the polarizer on just to take a bit of that glare off. I don't want to smooth out the water. It's pretty calm anyway, and I quite like some of the highlights that is there on the top of the water, so I'm not going to overly use the polarizer. Then I'm going to swap out the lens. I've seen a couple of shots that I want to do with the 1-400, more abstract type images, and we'll see how it works out, but I'm sure you'll agree. Beautiful. What an absolute brilliant day out. You know, I slowly made my way up this shoreline early this morning, captured images along the way, enjoying these beautiful conditions. So that coin toss this morning certainly worked. So, you know, it's been amazing. I always imagined Lighthouse Park with a bit of snow, but today it looked beautiful. It really does look beautiful. We've lost a lot of that sunlight, which didn't matter because the scene's still here. We've still got the snow, we've still got the coast, and it still looks beautiful. But I am gonna head back to Vancouver now. I want to dry off my stuff, put it in my bag and make my way back and warm up. I'd love to stay out here all day, but sometimes you got to know when to quit. I don't want to chance ruin any of my gear, because if your stuff does get damp, there's always a chance of condensation within the lens itself, which is what you don't want. So that's a good idea for you just dry your stuff off, put it in your bag, leave it in your bag overnight before you take it back out, unless there's always a risk that you're going to get condensation on your lens. So there's a little tip for you. But it has been a wonderful day, and I hope you've enjoyed the adventure with us today in these amazing conditions. It's been fabulous having you along. Luckily for me, it's long weekend here in Canada, so I've got another 2 days off work. So you never know, I might head back here or head to a new location, but today has been absolutely worth it. Just got eagles flying over the top of us there. What a place to be. So if you've enjoyed the content of today's video, give the video a thumbs up. Really appreciate it. It helps my channel out a lot. If you haven't subscribed to my channel and you want to see more beautiful locations, subscribe, and I'm sure you'll agree, I take it to some nice places. So I suggest you hit that subscribe button, and I can't wait to take you on my adventures with us. But for now, in Lighthouse Park, until next time, thanks for watching. Bye bye.